Hello everyone, how are you all? I hope you all are doing fine. Today we are going to start with a fresh chapter, that's chapter 10, grade 6 CBSE, and the name of the chapter is New Empires and Kingdoms. So it's a very interesting chapter. We'll learn a lot of new words in this chapter. It might be confusing if you open the book, but I'll make it very easy and the way you guys can actually learn it, we'll try to help you. So let's have a look at what are the topics that we need to cover today. The one and the only thing that we are going to read over and over again, the first important topic is Prashasti. So I'll explain what is Prashasti in detail. Do not get worried because it's such an easy thing. And once you're clear with what you understand by Prashasti, then I think everything is going to follow. Because you see Prashasti being used in every line. So in every topic, we'll talk about it. Then you'll learn more about Samudragupta, for which we'll go dig deep into Gupta Empire. So I'll explain you who were the king who started this dynasty, where exactly did they control, where did they have their power center. Then I'll explain you what you understand by genealogies or who are genealogists. Then I'll explain after Gupta's Harshvardhan, his brother, his father, his brother-in-law stories being talked about, but we'll talk in detail with the exact locations on map. Pulkasin, Palvas and Chalukyas, and how were these kingdoms administered, a new kind of army, what is the post that we created there, assemblies in the southern kingdoms, and how was the life of ordinary people in those kingdoms, how do we know about it, what are the evidence that we find. All right. So let's make it easy for you. First, I'll explain what do you understand by the word Prashastis. See guys, P for praise, P for Prashasti. So when you praise someone, Prashasti means it's a special kind of inscription. It's something imbibed, written somewhere in praise of. So it was generally written in the ancient time by the Brahmins in praise of the ruler. To talk about how was the life of the ruler, how did the rulers live, and how were they treated, in their kingdom. So it is basically in the written format we get it, and generally written either by the Brahmins or by the court poets. Fine. Chalo. Now we'll get started with this chapter, and there is this very smart guy whose name is Arvind, just as cute as you. So this guy happens to have an annual function at his school where he's asked to wear a beautiful robe. Now what is this robe? It's something that you wear when you come out of the bathroom, no? A long gown that's in the form of a towel and has a rope attached to it. It is something like this. This is its neckline. And then you go like this, and then it is partitioned from the center. It's more like this, in case you guys can make sense out of it. And here it has that ribbon from where you can tie it. So that's the robe. So he was asked to wear this wonderful robe, have a sword in his hand, and walk elegantly on the stage, and also to play veena and recite some poetry. So Arvind started to wonder, oh my God, did we have musical kings back then who were really fond of music? So the teacher started to explain that, Beta Arvind, wait, you'll have to learn about it in the class. So let's get started. I've already explained what you understand by Prashastis. Now, since we have to move on to Samudragupta, and I've got something to tell about some Prashastis, where exactly did we found Samudragupta's Prashasti? But before that, I want you guys to know a bit about Gupta dynasty. So let me explain. So this is Gupta dynasty, right? So what is this Gupta dynasty? So famous. It is called the Golden Age. Not because at this time we'd got a lot of gold or silver coins being issued. No, not at all. That was not the reason. At this time this period made great contribution to the literature, to science, and many other domains. So this is the golden age of India, right? And at this time, caste system also existed. We had untouchability and different kind of caste system caste that existed. And the Guptas, they themselves belong to Vaishya caste. So in case you guys do not know that this section is not given in your book, It is just to know more about Gupta so that you do not get confused. Arey ma'am, where does this name of this king pop up from? Who is this king? So I'm making it elaborately very clear to you guys that where does Gupta dynasty start and where do they actually consolidate power and how does it eventually grow more and more influential, right? So I told you Gupta Empire, it's called the Golden Age of India. It covered the most part of subcontinent. They belonged to Vaishya caste. Caste system did exist back then. So the first rulers whom we do not find reference of is Sri Gupta. He was the first one, the founder of Gupta dynasty. After that, we've got his son. His name is Ghatotkacha. Right? So his name is Ghatotkacha. You can see that this name has nowhere been mentioned in your books. However, the names that we see in your book is after Ghatotkacha, we've got his son whose name is Chandragupta the First. Right? He's the first ruler who started to consolidate power. So I'll start the story from here because these two names have not been used in your book and I don't want to explain more about them, but we'll definitely focus on the names that have been used in your group. So first of all, we've got Chandragupta the First, right? After that, we've got Samudragupta. It is his son. And after that Samudragupta, we've again got Chandragupta the Second. However, this name again has not been used in your book. And after that, we've got Kumargupta. He's Kumargupta the First because we are going to see the second one. Then you have Skandgupta. Right? And the dynasty goes on. The last evidence we find of is Vishnugupta. Right? So this is the last one, but you don't have to learn who were there. The main heroes are right here. Chandragupta, Samudragupta and Chandragupta Second. Fine. So we'll see that they've got a lot of modern northern subcontinent under their control. Here you all can see. This area. This is exactly what you call Allahabad. Right? Prayaga is the ancient name of Allahabad, and Chandragupta First, he consolidated his power here. And Chandragupta First, who is here, he also married the princess of Lichavi clan. Just to give you some other information, we are going to study about it in your book also. He married Lichavi. Her name was Kumara Devi. She belonged to a kingdom which was right here. We've learned about them, Vaji kingdom. So it was right here. She belonged to this kingdom. And then this was basically a marriage of convenience where Chandragupta First got the kingdom and security for his empire as dowry. So this basically increased his prestige. He became more and more popular and had a more strong foundation in that particular area. Fine. And if I talk about his son, whose name is Samudragupta, he was very, very powerful. Something very special about it. We find his inscriptions there at Allahabad pillar here. Can you see this Allahabad pillar? He is the one who was called Napoleon of India. If you know who's Napoleon, Napoleon was from France. But because of his military achievements, this person was known as Napoleon of India, and his conquest was shown by the Allahabad pillar inscription also. So he's called Napoleon of India. He was very, very powerful and considered as the great lord of Gupta dynasty. Okay. So since I've explained a bit about Gupta, so I'll tell you now about this pillar. This brings us to the first topic, and the first topic is Prashastis. Now, what do you understand by Prashastis? I told you in praise of. So our famous Samudragupta, who's from Gupta Empire, Samudragupta has been named in the Allahabad pillar of Ashokan time. It's a Ashokan pillar at Allahabad. And there is a very famous kavya which was written by his court poet whose name is Hari Sena. So he talks about, Hari Sena will learn later that he was a minister also, he was a poet also, he got many tags at the time of Samudragupta. So we find this inscription here at Allahabad. I've already shown you where exactly do we have Allahabad. So this is Allahabad. And here we've got this Ashokan pillar which talks about Samudragupta. He was a very famous ruler, as I told you, Napoleon of India. We find a kavya related to him. Now what is this kavya? Kavya written by Hari Sena. It is, when you use a Sanskrit style, Sanskrit literary style, how you like the literature, especially at the time of Guptas we had this. It was a specially designed poem in Sanskrit that we find by Hari Sena, who was a poet as well as a minister at the court of Samudragupta. Is that fine? Now let's talk a bit more about Samudragupta's Prashasti. What is there? What do we see in this Prashasti? We see that this poet, whose name I've just mentioned, Hari Sena, he's talked a lot about Samudragupta. He praised him like God. He said he's won so many battles. Samudragupta undoubtedly won many battles. Hari Sena was considered one of the best poets of that time. And he said Samudragupta, he mentioned Samudragupta as someone who is equal to God. And he's got very long Prashastis written really well about Samudragupta, how he conquests different parts of India. I'll show you. These are the different parts of India. And you can see earlier we've got different kingdoms here. But now you'll see this area. Entire area was controlled by Guptas, right? So in the next class, I'll talk about how they defeated these areas, this area, this area, and this area, right? So in case you guys are interested to learn more, please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe this session and video. I'll see you in the next class. Till then, please take care. Thank you.